Hello fellow guitar geeks, this is the Moxie Overdrive from Wampler, and in this video I'm going to check it out, I'm going to take it apart, I'm going to put it through different amps and use different guitars and then review it right at the end. A question for you, what do you get if you lock Brian Wampler in a shed with a bunch of tools, a breadboard, a soldering iron and an Ibanez TS-10? You get this, the Moxie Drive from Wampler pedals. It is Brian's take on the Tubescreamer circuit. If you've never heard of the Tubescreamer circuit, let's talk about that for a second. The Tubescreamer is probably the most iconic, most famous overdrive pedal in the history of electric guitar. They're normally green, and they normally, well, let's say always, have this mid-frequency hump, this boost in that area, which normally allows that guitar to push through in a mix. Some people love it, some people don't like it, some people just buy a green pedal and they're done with it. This, however, is Tubescreamer TS-10 territory plus a little bit more. The Moxie Drive is a mini pedal and it fits in the same series as the 𝗚𝗏𝗘𝗗𝗏 and the Plexi Drive Mini, which I've also reviewed on this channel. And I'm not going to be afraid to say this right at the top of the video, I really dig this pedal. It's another Tubescreamer. I don't know if we really need one in the world, but I will say that if you're looking for one and you have about 160 euros currently at this time of recording the video, why not choose this? If you're a Wampler fan, then you'll be very, very pleased because it sounds like a typically Wampler pedal. Very hi-fi, very well built, very refined. But rather than tell you about it, I shall show you by doing my top 5 tones. There we go. Those are the 5 tones that I think represent not the extremes of the pedal, but some of the best of the pedal. It's not useful unless you've heard a clean tone, so let's have that quick clean tone. So I was really pushing the front of the amp with that last setting. I love this mini Wampler series. I love the 𝗚𝗏𝗘𝗗𝗏. I think it's a super clear, defined rat sound. I like the Plexi Drive Mini. I like it a lot. I keep having to lend it to my friend Steve, who borrows it and then gives it back and then borrows it again. Steve, just buy your own pedal. Not really. You can borrow it for as long as you like until I need it. And then we have this, the Moxie, which I know we have new pedal bias very often, but this is a Tubescreamer that I think would fit on my board because I've had the TS-10 on my board for a while, mainly for bragging rights, honestly. Mainly because people can then look at my board, that one person in 1,000, and say, huh, TS-10, huh? He must be accomplished and knowledgeable. Whereas in fact, I just like sounds, and I feel a bit of a faker having that on my board. And it takes up too much space and too much potential wallet space, as in I could sell it, to keep it there. So in a minute I'm going to plug that in and we'll test the Moxie against the TS-10 and see if there's any difference or any similarity. However, what I like about the Moxie is it's 165 euros currently, and it's non-intrusive in being a mini pedal, and it has all these different modes. So I'll play through the modes and then we'll, I guess, review it at the end, but that's a sort of semi-review. So let's go through what the knobs and switches do. So we have 3 knobs: volume, gain, and tone. If you know a tube screamer, you should recognize those knobs because the TS-10, for example, has those same knobs, and they do the same job. We've got volume, which is how loud it is; gain, which is how much gain you want. That's a subject to be explored. And then tone. If you want a brighter sound, turn that to the right. If you want a darker sound, turn it to the left. Then, 2 things that the TS-10 does not have is these switches. We've got a voice switch, and when that is switched to the left, we have the stock mode. When it's switched to the right, we've got a higher clarity mode. And then fat switch, fatty fat, to the left is off, so that's stock mode. When this fat switch is to the right, it's on fat mode, which we're going to test in a second. Let's do it now, in fact. So let's do fat mode first. Let's do clean tone. And then on. So that's fat mode off and voice in stock mode. Let's put the fat mode on. Oh, so touch the tone then. So that's not just fat, it's louder, it's thicker, it feels like there's more gain, but there probably isn't, it's just louder. So let's see if I can just match that fat volume with the volume. Not quite. It is more gainy, there's more raspy, there's a more bitey edge, that tube screamery mid-range stuff. So the fat mode engaged, that is indeed, it's just a bigger sound. It could have been called the big switch, really. Let's do the voices. We've got stock. Hard to decide which I prefer. That makes me want a big Moxie with these foot switchable. So imagine having a Moxie that was a standard size pedal, such as this one, for example. Where is it? There it is. Imagine having that, but then having these as foot switchable. That would be cool. But they're not. They're tiny little micro switches, which with my sausage fingers are quite hard to switch. So I'm getting a bit of fingernail action. If you find that you can't get your finger in there, the pick... Come on, the pick is your friend. Let's try voice 2, so the higher clarity and fat mode together. Oh. Okay, there's a lot going on. This is one of those pedals I think you need to find the sound that you like that matches the guitar you're playing, and then leave it there. I feel like I'm doing it a disservice, or not that you can use a pedal correctly, but certainly you can mess around too much, and that stock sound is just good. But I like it with the fat. I'm missing something. Now, I know that most people don't make it this far in the video. I haven't even done the end of the video club yet, but I know that most people don't make it this far, so I can pretty much do what I want with the people that I know do watch this far. So if you are watching this far, thanks very much, because it means you're one of those people that actually gels with what I do, and I appreciate that. Because I make videos that I would enjoy, and it's just me sitting around messing with pedals and making music, I guess. Yeah, so getting a bit emotional. It's just a Tube Screamer pedal, Andy. That's all it is. But it's so much more. And less. And the same. Honestly, I think it's time to leave the sounds there and plug in the TS-10 and see how it fares against that. Now, the Moxie is true bypass. The TS-10 is not. So I'm going to go into the Moxie, then into the TS-10. So the TS-10 is not colouring the Moxie in any way. That's how I think it should be done. Let's find out if it's right, because I'm sure some people will correct me in the comments if they disagree. So let's put these bad boys around... I mean, this is an old pedal. I have no idea how old it is exactly. I could find out, but I'm not going to. I'm going to set this Moxie to the stock mode and put all the knobs at 12, but I know that that's not how it should be done. We're going to find the tone. Moxie. TS-10. The TS-10's a little brighter, so I'm going to bring the tone up on the Moxie. Switch. There's more mid-range coming from the Moxie, and it seems a little noisier, if I'm honest. Nope, it's the same. Let's try less tones. There's just a tad. I boosted the tone too much. There's more volume coming from that. There's less gain from the TS-10. Got it around the wrong way, the volume's over there. That is not the first time that has scuppered my chances of getting it right. The Wampler just has this more hi-fi, higher clarity sound. Is it me or is the TS-10 slightly more transparent, letting through a little bit more of the original circuit? Oh my god, I made myself feel a bit sick then. The Wampler just has this edge that I can't quite get with the tone. And getting closer, there's just... The Wampler has a higher level of clarity at that setting. So let's see what happens if I mess with the tone. Just to let you know what's going through my head, I decided at that moment to sell my TS-10, and then directly afterwards decided against it. So that is what's currently spinning around my mind. What I will say, and I hope that you agree, the Moxie sounds phenomenal. Like, it just sounds good. Pointless comparing it to anything else. It just sounds good, and that's what's important. It's inspiring me to play, and it's inspiring me to say nice things about it, because it's good. It lacks the mojo of the TS-10 because it's not a TS-10. But I get, in fact, let's do a blind test, and we'll see which one you prefer, and tell me which one you think is the TS-10. Are you ready? Okay, black screen, go. For those of you who thought that last one was the TS-10, you'd be right. It's insane how close that is. Again, there's a little bit more clarity coming from the Moxie, which I think I could probably even get closer by, hang on, by knocking that tone off just a touch. Let's try it one more time. I don't know, the more I hear it, the more I think I can tell I can tell the difference. But this is silly. In a mix, absolutely pointless. The one that you should have is the one that is the easiest to use, the one you can afford, and the one that sounds the best. Best being, does it sound like you want it to sound? And if it gets you almost all the way... No, if it gets you to where you need to be, that's the one you should buy. So don't go on Reverb now and buy a TS-10. Maybe don't even go anywhere and buy a TS-10. Or don't buy the Moxie. But... I'm looking here. I've also got the TS-7. I should plug that in because I love this pedal. This is the TS-7 Tone Lock series. Let's just see if... Now I've got the Moxie sounding that I think fairly close to the TS-10. Let's plug the TS-7 in and see what happens there. This is purely for fun, for the people that stick around this long. I hope this pedal works. I haven't plugged it in a long time. Oh, it turns on. That's good. There, so this is the part of the tone lock. Let's just pop those knobs out. Turn that off, and we go for TS9 mode, maybe? Put the amp back on. Oh, let's do the loop. I don't know, man. There are going to be people writing, absolutely, they think that the TS-10 sounds the best. Or they think, wow, the TS-7 sounds good. Or they absolutely stand by the Moxie. For my money, there's very little in it. But the Moxie has that extra fat and voice switch, which the others don't. And that fat switch on that Moxie is absolutely divine. Where is it? There. Hang on. Here we go. Right. That has led me to believe that this is a silly endeavour. A waste, not a waste, because we've had fun, but almost a waste of my time and yours and Brian Wampler's, because he's made a great pedal that just sounds fantastic and is small. And I believe the build quality will be superb. Let's have a look, shall we? Let's open it up and see what's inside. I've just regretted saying that because I know that I have to take all the knobs off. Oh, Lord. Right, let's take it open, see what's inside. Right, get that out of the way. By the way, I think the TS-7 sounded amazing. Let's get Drill Collins in the house to take this Moxie apart. Right, out of the way. There you go. That's the inside of the Moxie. Ah, oh, darn it. I guess we should do a real close-up. I really don't want to take those knobs off. So that's the inside. There's a high-quality close-up in case you want to know what's inside the pedal. It just looks like a great job that's done by some kind of alien machine. None of those tests matter, I believe, because, as I said, I have that on my board sometimes because I think that people might notice and think that I know what I'm doing. Whereas I think that is a much better choice because it's smaller, it's definitely cheaper, and it's probably more reliable. It just doesn't have that mojo. Oh, we got a sticker. What does the sticker say? Moxie removal voids warranty. Don't take that sticker off. That'll void your warranty, everybody. I'm not going to take these knobs off, but I am going to talk about them. These knobs are knurled, so they've got a little grippy feeling to them, and I think they're fantastic. These are absolutely some of my favourite knobs that we have on pedals these days. And for the review part of this video, let's start with that. The knobs are great, very tactile, you can feel them, and on stage that would not slip in your hands. These are the kind of knobs that EHX should be using on all their little nano pedals. The EHX pedals, the knobs look like this, but they're not grippy, so you slip and you can't turn them. At that, even the sweatiest person in the world will be able to turn that knob. But they may not be able to flip these switches. They are tiny, mini little switches that I have a real issue doing, but I just did it with one hand. On stage, that would be a problem. So set and forget. Or set and, you know, have it near you that you can definitely get a pick in there. Those switches are necessarily small, but my goodness, couldn't we have a large version of this with foot switchable fat and voice modes? I'd dig that. I don't know how much more expensive that would be and if it would actually warrant doing, but I quite like the idea of that. I'd like to do it. No, I don't know. What do you think? Let me know in the comments section. Anyway, I guess I've reviewed this pedal throughout the video rather than just stick the review part at this part. Very seemingly well made, high quality components, sounds great, sounds pretty flipping close to a TS-10 and a TS-7. I have a TS-808 somewhere as well, and some Bad Monkeys, but right now it seems kind of pointless. I will say that the Bad Monkey from Digitech, that has a low and a high control, rather than just a tone control, so that might edge it. But that is small enough to fit on anyone's pedal board. The price is roughly where, not roughly, exactly where it should be. If you're after a tube screamer because you don't own one yet, and you don't want to buy one of those really cheap ones that you can get, which are also good, such as the Joyo, is it the Vintage Overdrive, or the Harley Benton? That's a quality pedal. Now, I've seen Henning's video where he says that you don't need this pedal, and he is absolutely right. You don't need it. You really don't. Brian didn't need to release this, but I'm really glad that he did, and I'm glad that it's available on the market. And for that person that wants a mini pedal, TS style, that is around 150 bucks, possibly more these days, that could be the one. Yeah. Right, I'm going to put this back together and say that I appreciate you spending your time watching this video. I hope it has helped. And if it has helped or entertained you, educated you, or informed you in any way, then you can give a little back by leaving a thumbs up on the video to help the YouTube gods send this video to other people and therefore make me a very happy guitar geek. Oops. So, you've reached the end of the video, which is time to say that you're in the end of the video club and to prove that you are a member of this prestigious elite when you leave your comment down below telling me if you thought this entire endeavour was fruitless or not. Please also include the phrase, I'm thinking as I'm screwing, Andy, sell your TS-10 to me. And that'll let me know that you saw this part, and it will appease those YouTube gods once and for all, and they will finally listen to the geek. Thank you so much for joining me. I wish you a wonderful remainder of your day. In fact, there are more videos over there that you can fill the remainder of your day with, and I recommend that you do. But if you don't, then at least check out the links in the video description giving you more information and pricing on the Moxie from Wampler. Thank you very much. I will see you very soon. Bye-bye.